You ready for the news of the day? Breaking right now. Danny boy. The rest of the show, cancel it, Coca. We're going all in on the Washington Commanders. ESPN just released a bombshell right now. Let me sum it up for you. Danny Boy's got a problem. The problem Danny Boy has is that the only reason he still owns a team is that there have not been enough owners willing to vote him out. Because if you had the votes, you would go vote him out. So what Danny Boy's been doing to make sure he doesn't get voted out is making sure that the people who may vote him out don't vote him out, because if they do vote him out, then he's going to get them voted out. There's nothing like a scare tactic to get yourself safe. This is like Watergate stuff. Apparently Dan Snyder, and this is all alleged, but when there's smoke, there's fire. What do you do when you're backed into a corner and you're a kid? Either you crumple up in the fetal position, sucking your thumb, or you fight like hell to get out of the corner and you double and triple down. Well, Danny got together with Tawny and they said, how about we do a little fighting? Is it possible that Daniel Snyder has actually hired private investigators to trail owners, and that he's got files the way the government has files on people, and he's got files on other owners that could bring them down? Can you imagine following Robert Kraft around all day? Can you imagine following Jerry Jones around all day? Can you imagine you being followed around all day? Sometimes I think about that. I think about my grandfather up in heaven, to the extent that that exists. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know what my grandpa's doing, but he's doing something. And if it's possible that he watches me 24 hours a day, oi, wouldn't want that. Not that I'm doing anything so outrageous, but still, do you really need to see someone with their pants around their ankles? That's a bathroom reference, like go to the bathroom, I have a bad stomach, not anything else. Okay, so here's what ESPN is saying. And if any of this, not all of it, if any of it is true, Daniel Snyder is going full Sarver. He will have to announce that he's selling the team, and finally, the Washington Commanders will be under new ownership. This could be it. Don't screw with the people who have the votes to get you kicked out. Don't do it. Snyder has apparently gathered enough secrets to, quote, blow up several NFL owners and Roger Goodell. We've often joked that, wow, he must have pictures of Goodell with a goat. Insert whatever name you like there. When there were players who got things from an owner, we would say, wow, that player must have something on the owner. Or when there's an owner who gets something from the commissioner's office, wow, the owner must have something on the commissioner or the commissioner's office. This is absolutely standard in sports. All the owners pretend that they like each other, but they don't. All the owners pretend that they root for each other, but they don't. All owners pretend that they want what's in the best interest of the league, but they don't. Owners are interested in themselves, their team. That's it. Two things. So am I shocked to hear that Snyder said the NFL is a mafia, that all owners hate each other, that they can't F with me? Not at all. ESPN called the Commanders for a comment, and boy, they had to whip one into shape, and I mean hurry. And the best they could come up with, I mean, what are you going to do, right? The best you come up with is you say, hold on, where is it, Coca? It's a good one. Oh, there it is. I got it. You deny it. You deny that Snyder has hired or authorized a private investigator to track another team's owner or league office executives. You say it's categorically false. You say there's no dossiers compiled on any owners. But guess what? There are. How do I know this for sure? Because I've been in a game for 18 years on the other side, on the ownership side as a team president, and I've paid close attention to what people do when they own teams. I've paid close attention to what league offices do. I've paid close attention to what I do. Did I have files on people? Absolutely not. I'm too smart to ever write anything down in that regard. But do I know things about people? And do they know that I know things? Do I know that people know things about me? Do they know that I know that they know? Yes. And is it just me? No. This is the currency of business. Lest you think it's only sports, may I remind you that this goes on in your office. This goes on in your home, in your relationship. Do you keep track when someone in your house does something you don't want them to do, whether it's leaving dishes in the sink or going out with guys when they're not out with guys and they're out with girls? Are you keeping track and saying, I'm going to hold that off? I'm going to file that away for another moment. It's like a get out of jail free card. Are you familiar with that from Monopoly? Get out of jail free card is when you can use it anytime when you're in deep, deep doo-doo and you need to become free. You show the card and the door opens and you walk away. You don't think that Daniel Snyder knew that at some point he was going to be in Monopoly-style jail and that he was going to have some sort of card? And what the big boys do is their card has to do with someone else. Seems normal, right? But why is this such a big deal today, right now? Because this is a concerted effort by the NFL to try to get the votes to get Snyder gone. What the NFL is going to do today is quietly, Roger Goodell will speak to a bunch of owners. He'll call up Jerry and say, hey, Jerry, how bad is it? Thoughts? What could he have? A massage parlor? Does he have you making personnel decisions while you're the GM? Does he have you doing anything with any employees? Does he have you doing any calendars? Anything sex-related? Anything race-related? Let's go through the things you've done. Trust me, Jerry, just tell me, I won't tell anyone. Then he calls up the next owner, has the same conversation. What you can't have as a league is a surprise. If Daniel Snyder has been following every owner or hiring people to follow, if he's got dossiers on every owner, if he has enough to quote-unquote blow up the league and blow up the owners, first you've got to have a come-to-Jesus meeting with the owners, not with Danny, to find out what he could have. It happened to me. Someone called one day and said, hey, we've got something that's going to get you kicked out of the game. I told the story on a COVID Levitard one time, or maybe it was on a mailbag episode. But someone called from the media and said, we've got a story, and that'll be the end of Samson. Well, it turns out the story was not accurate, not true, and it wasn't the end of me. But I certainly was asked by the owner, the PR people, and the commissioner's office whether it was true, because if it had been true, I'm either going to die with the lie, I'm going to fight like a man cornered, but if they've got proof and I know I did something, then what am I going to do? I'm going to say, I resign. I never resigned. The NFL is going to frantically work together to figure out how serious this situation could be. But the way this backfires for Danny Boy is that if he doesn't have what he says he has, he's going to get voted out. If he does have what he says he has, he's going to sell. Why am I saying with such authority that Danny Snyder is done in the NFL? The reason I'm saying that is when you declare war on your league and on your fellow owners, it's a matter of when, not if, you will not be amongst them. It doesn't mean it'll be today or tomorrow. It could be in a year. But there is a point of no return that has now been reached with Danny Snyder and the other owners, and there is no chance coming back to it. One of the things that Danny Snyder is being talked about, he's supposed to be not running the team. I told you on Nothing Personal, he is running the team. The NFL knows he's running the team. That's not such a big deal. Danny Snyder wouldn't go testify before Congress because he was on his yacht in France. He's not the only owner who does that. Danny Snyder is on his phone making decisions about the team. He's not the only owner who does that. Why is Snyder such a target? Because they can't stand him. And this is the reason. How many owners have information about other owners? Give me a count. 32. How many owners talk about it? Danny Snyder. I'm not all for convention and for following the pack and for doing what somebody else does or for being led over a cliff. But when you're part of an exclusive club, there are rules of that club. And if you don't like the rules, then don't be in the club. And I'm fine with that. I'm not talking about no Jews allowed. I'm talking about the way you operate when you are the owner of a team. I mean, this article is just unbelievable. There's an owner saying that Snyder directly told him that he's got dirt on Jerry Jones. Okay. One of the things that and the NFL is going to have to deal with is how do they get the Commanders back? Every day we're reading stuff. It's great content for nothing personal. Just this week we had Ron Rivera with an issue with Carson Wentz, and then they had to walk it back. There's just always something going on. When they hired Wright as their president, they thought that that would have been the start of maybe a better run team. And the thing with Jason Wright is he may likely not have any power to do anything. While he's shown to be powerful, he's African-American. While Ron Rivera is shown to be powerful, he's Hispanic. And now the NFL can say, hey, look, Danny Boy's not racist. Danny Boy's not sexist. We have women. We've got people of color. We're great. It's really still Danny Boy doing everything. The example given in this article made me laugh. Danny Boy took over trying to get a new stadium for the Washington Commandskins. It's a joke. An owner can't do it. That was my job. You think that's Jason Wright's job. You think that an owner, Daniel Snyder, is going to meet with all of the different commissioners and all of the different people in politics in order to figure out votes and to get a deal done? You think those politicians want to meet with Snyder? They've already said they won't do business with him. It's all laughable to me. I like it. I like this whole story, Coca. Here's what I think we're going to get to cover tomorrow. There's going to be a change and a response. So the NFL cannot just let this story go without responding, and they're going to have to figure out how to do it. I've already told you what they're going to do. They're going to meet with each owner, and they're going to talk about who's got what and where and just confirm it before they go out and say, hey, Jerry Jones is a perfectly great citizen. No one could have anything on him. Owners, I would go right to my owner and say, hey, no comment here. Don't you say that I'm not worried at all about Snyder, because if I know you the way you know you, if I knew you, I wouldn't say that. So that's getting all your ducks in a row. Then you're going to have a public response from the NFL. It will come in the form of likely a statement, not from Goodell, but from an NFL spokesman. I don't want Goodell's name associated with the fact that Daniel Snyder is saying that he can bring down Goodell. So my advice would be it would come from an NFL spokesperson. Then you'd have the response from Snyder to the response from the NFL. This is content heaven.